What are your experiences of debt?
Robbing Peter to pay Paul all of the time.
I had a very bad gambling addiction and alcohol addiction, which obviously got me into massive debt.
Grew up in a household where Dad was an alcoholic and often lost his wallet. So sometimes we didn't have any food.
My experience is easy to get into, harder to get out of.
I think that these days you can get credit, no matter what your circumstances are, they just push it out of you, which I think needs visiting and something put into place so that people don't fall into that trap.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship where it was an abusive relationship, and it was always better if things were put in my name. So anything on HP back in the day was always in my name. So when it came to the marriage ending, because everything was in my name, I had to pay everything, even though I was coerced into doing that. So I was left with a lot of debt, and that's just carried on for years.
I think when you have debt hanging around your neck, it almost feels as if you're walking through treacle. You know, you can't get anywhere, you can't progress. You try to pay one little bit of debt off, and then the interest on another, perhaps loan or whatever, is rising and rising and rising. So you just feel at the end, at your wit's end, really.
And then you're worrying whether you're going to have money to buy food for your family as well. You've paid your bills, and what have you got left?
And you listen to other people who are like booking holidays and buying clothes, and you think, just I would like just to have that experience just for once, to be able to have that luxury, I suppose, of doing that.
Yeah. I used to work nearly 50 hours a week, and I still struggled. But then quite a few years ago I looked into bankruptcy, but they wanted at least £800 to do bankruptcy. I was like, well, I can't afford to pay the debt, how can I afford a bankruptcy? So yeah.
I did eventually get out of debt, but I forget what the form was that I filled out, but it wrote almost £8,000 worth of debt off.
Was it a debt relief order?
Debt relief order.
Yeah, I did that.
DRO.
Yeah.
Which made me feel a lot better.
I had to declare myself bankrupt because I became really ill, so I wasn't able to work. So, and that's like another stigma, and I have to keep explaining to myself, to people, that I haven't been careless with money. It's my situation that's made me in that situation, and it's like it doesn't seem to matter. It's just, well, you've got bankruptcy against you, so that limits you as well.
I feel that there isn't enough out there to point you in the right direction for help with debt. I struggled with debt for years until somebody mentioned the DRO. So all that stress and worry and everything else I went through, I could have ended sooner.
We don't get taught that, or we didn't get taught that at school, did we? There was no how do you manage money or budgeting or anything like that. My parents never taught me either, so that just carried on. So I think it would be better if we'd started that in school. I mean, we can't put everything onto schools and all that, but it would help massively if they did.